Started off today with a little project, a little holder for this. Sort of blocks that door a bit, but it also hides that gun, and it's not hard to get off. It's nice to use its base a bit. Try and use up as much in here as we can, because this is all going to be kind of empty. But anyway, what's the other thing I did? Oh yeah, I tidied up these screws that were poking through. Got them with the Dremel. In this one as well. But yeah, this I just need to glue it together. Just hooks on there. Comes out. It's just a few little dowels, so I'm just going to glue this together and chuck it in there and get on to something else. So I've got this chopping board and I've been sort of scratching my head on where to put it, and I think I've finally just decided there's a bit of unused space behind this post in between those rails. There's no real easy way to access it, but I was thinking if I take a chunk out of the middle of that post there, sort of, you know, just a little wider than this chopping board, you should be able to slide that right in there, make use of a bit of that space, have a bit of a runner, you know, a bit of wood or something for it to slide across on the bottom there. Get a bit of groove out of it maybe, and something to stop it flopping around up the top. I reckon that'd be good, so I might work on that. This poor little fella here, a little cutie, he's shivering a bit. I built him a little nest there. We found him in one of the buckets over there, just sort of swimming with his head up. So I'll build him a little nest and let him warm up, and once he's warm he can get going again. So, managed to get that notched out. It's just sitting in there now, and I've got this all made up, so it's got something to run along, keep it from moving. I can run it all the way out. We'll have to put a handle on the end of it. But yeah, it's come up alright. It's tucked out of the roads, and utilising a bit of that space in there that wasn't going to get used. was thinking about putting a handle on here so you can grab it and pull it out originally, but then I decided I was probably going to get fancy and I'm going to drill a hole, pretty big one, like just here, and have like a button you press, and it's going to be connected to a rod or a rail that comes down to the back of the chopping board, and then like a little elbow, so when you push in it's going to come up through there and hopefully push that in, push that out just enough so you can grab it, and when you go to push that back in it should push that button back out so you can, you know, we'll see how that works out. It might be a bit too fancy, but I reckon it'll be cool. Just realised, but to do that I kind of want the surface on the outside of that Remu timber, and since this is the centre point, it's obviously going to be split there for the chopping board to come out, have boards going sort of that way and that way. I think I might start putting some of these boards on that side, so I've got my exact sort of dimension to come out, you know. The little bird that was in that tub there decided he was going to go walkabout, and he ended up in the fucking dash, and I've been pulling this fucking thing apart. I don't know if he's still in there, but we got all the doors open. The little fucker can go whenever he wants. We're just going to leave it like that for a bit and hope he fucks off, or already has. In the meantime, we'll get back to this. Hey, fun, eh? Alright, so I managed to get this rail on so I could get my distance, and I've knocked that in. What's it done, my finger? Knocked that in so it can't go any further than that, and then I got this mechanism here, runs underneath. It's got a couple of little pins there, and then this button, it doesn't quite fit yet, but it will go through. It sort of fits. I don't want to push it in too much, but yeah, you'll be able to push that into there. And what that will do, so it'll push that arm, push out the chopping board, and you can pull it out from there. And then when you go to push the chopping board back in, just put the pencil there to show you. Oh, it's already there. But yeah, you just go. Alright, so the bird's out. It's gone, it flew away. It warmed up and dried out nicely and left me with this mess. I was just trying to be nice, but oh well. So I'm just going to get into this now, put this back together. Hopefully I know where all the screws and bits go. It should be alright. Maybe. We'll see. These are the bits I'm worried about, the plugs that are unplugged. Hopefully it will go back in. Oh well. So, after a bit of thought about this mechanism here, the one that pushes the chopping board out, I've come into an issue where I've already predetermined that this rail's going to be here to hold runners for a draw. And when this is where it is, it's taking up that exact same space, which is unfortunate. If I can get that back actually on there. There we go. Close enough. But yeah, as you can see, it's they interfere with each other. So what I'm going to have to do should be fairly simple, hopefully. Yeah, I'm just gonna have to get rid of that pin, get rid of this block, and sort of cut it here so it still has something to run into, but it's not using the whole thing. And I'm gonna have to notch out a segment in here in the side of that board for this to run in, so it's inside. Probably take off a chunk of this and a chunk down this end. Still need to clean this out on my button, but anyway, yeah. So there's a bit of work that needs to be done there. It's all fiddly, so I've been chugging away at this for a bit, and I finally got it all sorted out. I got it inset here, so it's in out of the road. I got it all sort of glued up. It was real wobbly, so I had to put in this little frame here, so it's just like a little U piece. It can't really go up, but it just sort of stops it from twisting and moving around, because obviously that'd move that top piece a bit. But yeah, it's come pretty good now. Just put this button in here. Hang on, get a better view. Yeah, that's cool. I can't stop doing that. That's kind of cool. Anyway, made use of that space which was otherwise not being used, so I'm down for that. So I got the new and improved design. I got a new front plate on there, using a bit of different timber, some sort of other nice stuff, just as a bit of a feature piece. When it gets like that Danish oil on there, it'll go quite quite a bit darker, it'll sort of match this. But it's all finished. Had a few issues with getting this to come all the way out with that block up the back and hitting this mechanism underneath. Mostly it was hitting this, and then it was sort of hitting inside here as well. But I've sort of made that quite a bit thinner and sort of scooped a bit out of this with the Dremel, and then up the other end there, I don't know if I showed this in the last video, but I sort of notched it in, went down that way and then back out. Put a new hole in there, and then yeah, so we got the button here now. Boom. Just like that. You push it in, the button comes back. It sits in a little bit, which is because it's sort of loose, it's not 100% right. What I'd like to do is, I've got a little bolt that I'll be able to run through there, and I'll get like a toggle with like a diamond shaped sort of toggle, so that when you twist it, it will hold the chopping board and the button, which is actually just loose. It can sort of vibrate its way out, but you can't sort of pluck it out, so it stays in there. But I think if you're driving, there's nothing stopping the chopping board and that from just sort of slipping out. And I don't know if this, yeah, nothing to stop this from sort of wobbling out, so when you open your door it looks like that, you know. So a little toggle in there that you just sort of twist, open, close, so when it's open it will cover them bolts, when it's closed it will cover these, sort of thing. But yeah, just sort of made this bit tidier too, instead of having a little piece that goes there, because this was the original that was on there, only that wide. Instead of having a tiny little piece to cover there and deal with a bunch of gaps, so we've got a whole piece that covers it. Sort of, it'll cover these rollers too, which is my main reason of doing that, because these ones would have been here, and then you can't put a piece there because it's got nowhere for this to go. It's got to overlap a little bit to hide it. So, but it's turned out good. Got the top piece in there. Yeah, should be nice when it's all done.